feel at a place today. I should have wore a suit and tie this morning.
I know, I know. I actually really screwed up, but I'm gonna blame it on my eating habits lately. May have my professional clothes feeling a bit constrictive, and so, but I at least could have put on a tie for you, and so I might go do that when we kick off to some guests here in a minute. Might go do that because I you brought up a really good point. We've been making Phantom look bad with all of our spooky themed NFTs and just the scary stuff and NFTs. They have contributed to this with their NFTs. They're not very professional. They're just T-shirts, and so I am excited for the movement that you have really started to get back to a professional Phantom. So
When I seen that L meme when she redid her ghoul, and then Scorpio pulled up that stock photo and made it as PFP, it was like, all right, we doing this. This is gonna be hilarious. Now it's just waiting for Miles to say something about it.
yeah, the professional cats, no longer the acid cats, but the professional cats. That was my favorite contribution to it that I made.
Hilarious. Oh,
Uh, so we just got done talking for like an hour plus on Twitter Spaces about all the things coming up. So we're going to talk some more about that and give some more alpha here, since that was for the live audience. This one, is live. Plus, people can watch the recording, and well, there's a ton of alpha, tons of stuff we got to discuss. But we have special guests today, and I know that you have followed this and been a supporter of this project from the start. And so I don't know if you want to go ahead and do the introduction of them, or if we just want to go ahead and play the video to introduce and then bring them up. But we've got Lost Kingdom on today.
yeah, let's get right into the video. I'm excited to talk to these guys. It's been a long time. Dude, that video's got me hyped. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that was sexy. And that was
This
that was
little
Stephen Vinyl music, right?
Yeah, yep. We're going
No,
back to
that, that particular one was not Steven Vinyl, but
Oh, come on.
yeah, but Steven Vinyl. It's great that you brought that up. I mean, people are familiar with his music now, and he's killing it. And the Lost Kingdom, those just the pages alone, you immediately start to get immersed in the Kingdom experience.
Yeah, just to bring up Stephen Vinyl for a second, I believe, as far as I know, the first stakeable music NFTs in existence are from Stephen Vinyl. So I think it's a big deal for you guys having him a part of the project, and that's kind of how I learned about him. Really, was checking out your guys' website, going like, "Oh wow, this is an experience."
Yeah, and so there's links to that in our Discord and the Artist Guild. That's kind of where he hangs out. So if anyone wants to talk to him, he's usually in there ready to talk about his music and his process. And we have a shop coming up soon where a lot of pretty much everything that you're buying in the shop is requires TLK tokens, which you get from staking our Gen 1. And one of the first things that's going to be in that shop, this actually won't be for TLK, so but you will be able to mint Steven Vinyl's music. So if you really like Steven Vinyl and he affects you the way he's affected our community in terms of his music, you'll be able to mint his music very soon. It
That's
fits.
amazing. It's looking good.
No, it doesn't fit, but That's because my arms and shoulders are so big, nothing else, you know. Um, so
It looks good. It looks good.
thank you, thank you. I do feel a little professional,
You
and
look it
sorry
now.
to interrupt your train of thought there, but why don't you all give us? I know we just kind of hopped into Stephen Vinyl there. Why don't you give us just kind of the little backstory? Tell us about Lost Kingdoms. You know, kind of lay the groundwork for what we're going to talk about today.
Sure. So I suppose I could start with a sort of elevator pitch because some people are very busy. They might not be able to watch all of this, or they want to immediately know what's going on. And then as we talk and become more casual, then they kind of have a context there. So The Lost Kingdom is a play and earn lore based medieval fantasy game. We're powered by Fantom. Fantom is our home. We do have intentions of being cross chain though, but those considerations are kind of in front of us right now, as we have a lot of things that we're working on. Um, in this game, the NFT, the items in the game are NFTs and tokens, and the game is currently being funded by our Gen 1 mint, which is live right now. We've sold about a third of the supply so far. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but just going off what people are saying, we may have set some records there on Fantom. So that's kind of cool, but we're not done yet. We're still going. But our mint will close soon. So once the door is closed, you lose kind of entry to the game, so to speak, for quite a while, actually. And just to wrap this up, our Gen 1 NFTs are dynamic. So the NFTs evolve and kind of progress. Their assets, the rarity, and the metadata all change as well. And coming up very, very soon, about 3 days from now, exactly 3 days from now, we're going to see the reveal process. So people haven't been able to see their NFTs. They just kind of see a silhouette of the man or the woman because there's two collections at the same time. Once they reveal, they will be able to see what their character looks like. So a lot of people are very, very excited for that. That's going to cost some TLK tokens, which you get from staking these Gen 1s. It will be enough that people who have been staking should be able to easily reveal this. And yeah, so then people are going to see their NFTs. People are very excited about that. And that reveal experience is kind of a lore experience. It's like entering the game for the first time. And when that happens, you're going to experience the dynamic aspect firsthand, like right in your face. You're going to see it and feel it yourself because we kind of want to train people. Most people aren't really used to dynamic. They're kind of used to static. So we're holding your hand and we're walking you through it right away. So you get to see it right out of the gate.
Yeah, so long ago, LoserKing came into the Rabbit Hole Discord when this was in the beginning, right when Gen Zero was hitting Paint Swap, and right from then, it was the amount of lore work that got put in to create this story. We just had a small Genesis collection of NFTs, but the amount of work that went into the story behind those NFTs really during that AMA was like, oh, there's something else to this. This is very different. And then, I mean, LoserKing said it a million times. Like, I'm just not a marketer. Marketing is not my thing. I just want to build. What I like that you touched on there for a second was, and you kind of make it a point listening to your other AMAs, is this is a play and earn game. It's not a play to earn. It's a play and earn. So you guys very, very much have this mindset of like, a game needs to be fun. I want to play a game, not just for financial aspects, but I want to be able to play a game just for the fun of it. The benefit is that I could also be earning money while doing it potentially. Waldo, do you want to touch on that for a minute?
Sure. So I assume that you've read that Medium blog. It kind of touched on that as well. So the idea is that a lot of this GameFi, you're looking at it and you're seeing it doesn't really feel like GameFi. It feels like finance with maybe like pretty buttons, or I mean, it feels like the game is the second part of GameFi rather than the first part, right? And in the word, we're seeing game first, then finance second, and that's what it should feel like. It should feel like if you take away that crypto aspect, you should still want to play this. And a lot of games are not like that in the early clunky stages of GameFi, because it was kind of an afterthought. People were building these things and then they go, wait, this game thing is something that people are interested in, and that is a cool direction to go in. And they tried to move their already established kind of mechanisms in that direction, and you can feel it. And in some of these games that are more of an open experience, you're starting to hit these you have to open up your MetaMask every 10 seconds and all this kind of stuff, and that doesn't really give you a game experience. It kind of takes away from the immersion. So on our end, we are gamers that have come from a wide diversity of experience in terms of games and eras, and we haven't had much overlap there. So we take our individual experiences from all these games, we take out the pieces that we saw that was really great, we leave the ones that kind of suck, and we're bringing that into our game development. We're trying to make something that we ourselves want to play, and we got into GameFi because we didn't see people doing what we wanted to do and what we wanted GameFi to do. So we said, okay, well, someone's got to do it. So we pulled up our sleeves and we jumped in, and now we're here, and we're in the process of getting the funding for the game, and we're well on our way. So we're very excited to go through this process together and to come out on the other end with hopefully a very exciting game that people want to play.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point, and it's an interesting conversation that I've had because I try to play as many of our GameFi games that we have in our ecosystem and host little game nights for them and stuff. Um, the conversation comes up a lot of how much of each game needs to be on chain. Like weaponized countries is one where every transaction that was kind of a big milestone for them, was the idea that the entire game is on chain. So every single like every move is an on-chain transaction. But there's times when the network bogs down where it doesn't really work as well. So even we've had the conversation of does a bit of this need to go off-chain? How much of the Lost Kingdom gameplay is going to be on-chain versus off-chain?
So I'm the least technical person here, and LoserKing is equally not as technical in this regard. So we're kind of at a standstill here. But from my understanding, speaking to the devs, I don't know, the way that we've talked about this in the past, we just say that we've solved this problem. We've been kind of vague, but there is some off-chain, on-chain kind of aspect there.
Yeah.
And I would say that I don't know, it's hard to put a number to. It's basically you have acknowledged that it will be some off-chain in order for this to happen.
Yeah.
And basically you can kind of move around freely as you need. But then if you need to take your assets off, you have the ability to do that. So there's basically kind of a flexibility in that manner. And you will be able to move freely in the game and without hitting your MetaMask every 10 seconds. But you will be able to wait, actually, the dev is listening, so I'm
Yeah,
getting no.
I'm just reading that in the chat. He says gameplay will be off chain. We're going to allow people to take items off chain as desired. And yeah,
Yep.
I think that is where a lot of the gaming will go. Like it is important to have the assets on chain, but to be honest, I think the majority of the gameplay it doesn't need to be on chain. When we look at, we've moved to Avalanche a lot, and Avalanche is purely like utility focused, and a lot of it is kind of what you explain as the new, this early phase of GameFi games where you're staking NFTs, getting a token, this and that. um and yeah, I think they keep talking about subnets, moving everything to subnets, and subnets is almost, I mean, it's on chain, but it's basically like off of one node. So one node is essentially validating the whole game. So you're really centralizing all that stuff again. So I think there's an aspect to, as gamers, once I think we know, I think we have an understanding that most of these games are kind of, there's a trust factor. There is a centralizing factor when we're buying into an NFT project that is kind of GameFi,
Yeah.
similar to 8-bit nostalgia.
Yeah, we have to think in a way that we're almost kind of moving back to how we have to treat it the way like a Blizzard would treat it, or like a
Yeah.
RuneScape or something. And they're not going to forfeit control of their game. They're just not going to. They're also not going to deny entry to their game. So when you start to get into crypto, you have these two worlds collide in a really weird way. And now you're looking at everyone's got this finance aspect, and we want to move it into a game aspect because we want to have more fun with it. But how do we do that without making it pay to win? So everyone's kind of juggling that. And then on the other side, they go, we have these I lost my train of thought. What's the other thing? Oh, the centralized aspect.
Yep.
So we want to have move everything in this kind of decentralized way, but then you don't have any control of your game, right? And we want to have a collection, and the collection is maybe entry to the game, but we don't want to like collectors don't want to. They want to have 10, and they have 9 of them, and that's it.
Mhm.
And but you don't want to play a game that it's just you and another guy that are the only people that can play it. So there's these two worlds that are actually completely different. There's this world that loves decentralization. There's this world that loves centralization and entry and lack of entry. And so this exclusivity kind of crosses over as well. And now we're stuck with this dilemma where these worlds want to collide, but they're like kind of bipolar in a lot of ways. And so now you have to begin to merge those two worlds in a creative way. And I like to think that we've done a fairly good job at solving that. And there is a trust factor, and we've done a lot of effort with our community and to try and build and establish trust. And I feel like we've done a fairly good job there. And we've kind of built strong roots with our community. And LoserKing has done a phenomenal job with that. Very early on, you saw that. I saw that video where you were speaking with him, and maybe LoserKing can add to that some, but he was saying that his connection's not very good. So LoserKing, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So I was
I was,
talking about how you were doing that call with Tinfoil in November, I believe, and the Gen Zero was actually like live when that was happening.
yeah, that's right. I have been
I mean,
shouting like selling fishes on the market to buy Gen Zero
I have to say
for
thank you. I
everybody.
mean, I might have just paper handed a Gen Zero a little bit early, but yeah, I mean, after our AMA, I ended up scooping up 2 Gen Zeros. And I'm sorry, Stephen Vinyl, I can't give you one, but because I just sold one for 5,000 Phantom last week.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's some nice pocket money.
But I don't have it anymore. There's a bit of regret.
That's fine.
Did you
Yeah,
dump before the Reaper Bite Masons came in and gave the that Reaper Farm discount of 75%?
I seen that, and I seen a couple big ones. There was a couple big ones that got scooped. That's what kind of like that opened my eyes to like, oh wow, there's a secondary market for them now.
Yeah, and we hope that that continues to build, because we've noticed that it's not very hard to convince a project to throw in a whitelist on an extra 52 of something. They go 52, okay, but we didn't actually do any convincing or anything. They were never paid. We never asked them to do that. They just they like us, and we're good friends with them, and they're very very chill people. We just did an AMA with Bite Masons the other day, but they threw in that the whitelist and that discount just because they like the project. So they said, yeah, we like you guys. We just wanted to help you out. So that was like really really cool of them.
Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah,
to see
I,
what. Go ahead, Loser King.
yeah, I remember that the Buy Masons gave us 75% discount, and then Justin Bieber said, "Oh, that's way too much," so he reduced it to 60.
Yeah, it's I'm excited to see what other protocols end up kind of following their lead and release tokens that way.
Yeah. We're just gonna have to watch it unfold and see. We're getting more and more recognized, which is great because I think you guys are familiar with this. You've seen us very early on, but you've seen that we have not really done much in terms of marketing in favor of slower organic growth. So we have not done invite giveaways. We did not want to inflate our community with fake numbers. We did not do any excessive like you get like free stuff, free stuff, free stuff, like come in here, because a lot of those people will kind of linger around for a little bit. They kind of ask dumb questions and then they leave and they don't contribute in any way because they're waiting for the next free thing. And we've rejected an astronomical amount of people that to us conveyed that they weren't going to bring over reasonable people into our community. Uh, uh, Offers that I assume that many projects would have taken because on the surface it did seem appealing. But we have our we have kind of community helpers and moderators, and they sort of review communities before we interact with them. And the end result of that so far has been that we have been speaking to really, really cool people, and they bring over really, really cool people, and it shows. We might have 6,000 in our Discord, but it's a very potent 6,000, and they're very, very involved in our lore and active in discussions, and they love the music, they love the artwork, and they're contributing in more ways than we ever thought anyone would contribute. And we're very, I just get not choked up necessarily, but I'm really, really proud of our community for being really cool.
Well, this is the interesting, like, honestly, this is where NFTs get really interesting. When you have 6,000 people who, are invested in some way or other in this community and are trying to bring value to it in some form or fashion, these become like large companies. I always say small companies, but 6,000 people, that's not a small company, when everybody's chipping in a little bit. I mean, that's kind of our idea with Potluck and why we're trying to build such a community. It's because to us, that's kind of what it's all about. There's just, the more people you bring in with such a vast set of skills that want to bring value, it's hugely beneficial. Now, I wanted to bring up something because I noticed that you guys, I thought I'd seen something about some translating, that I don't know if you guys brought in a translator to translate some tweets or help do some translation in the Discord. Am I right by saying that?
Okay, so we have a large Japanese community as well as a very healthy Polish community. The Polish community kind of tends to translate things within its own general chat, but the Japanese community, we had a community member that was a volunteer step up and offer to translate all the announcements, and that's Rheme, Rheme. He's absolutely amazing, and he's translated all of the announcements almost instantly. I don't know if this man sleeps, but he will translate it over to Japanese right away. There's a Japanese announcements tag, and so if you're looking in regards of our Discord, that would be Rheme that's doing all the translation. But recently, we had one of our mods that's very active, very informed on the project, knows a lot of alpha. He was speaking to Lucian Lamp DeFi on a Twitter space sort of AMA. And so he was speaking in Japanese to the Japanese community through Lucian, and was kind of being a sort of missionary or helping people to kind of understand what the project is. Because while we are based in English, it does create some sort of barrier between certain languages, and Japanese is certainly at the top of that list, as English can be a very hard bridge between the Japanese and the Japanese culture into the sort of NFT GameFi that we're doing. But they absolutely love GameFi. So,
so this is the thing. I think you're spot on with this. I wanted to lead into it because I think more company or projects should be doing this, or trying to do this, because we are such a global community, and the language barrier, that's a real thing. And especially with the Asian market, like the Asian market is absolutely massive, and especially when it comes to GameFi and collectibles and stuff like that, that's a huge market for this. But the idea that there hasn't been that much effort to cross that language barrier, the idea that you guys are putting in some effort, I think it's massive, and I think it's paying off big time for you.
Yeah, it's it pays dividends for sure. So every culture brings in their completely different perspectives, and that's something that often gets overlooked, especially in the crypto space. Every community tends to have its own like completely different personality, and the way that they speak resonates a different type of mindset as well. So we've noticed that the Japanese community is very big on lore, and they go way deeper into that than a lot of the other communities. They like to really go over it throughout the day and really think about what's going to happen next for this character, and what does it mean when this was said and stuff. Our lore is we have over 26,000 words of lore. That's you've seen it back then. Even I'm sure you've had experience that when we were looking at the Genesis. It's grown much significantly more since then. We have to give you a context for how much that is. That's a third the size of the first Harry Potter book, and growing more each day. Soon the community will that will be kind of open source in a way where the community can kind of add to the lore and an approval kind of process. But Japanese people, they love the lore. They love being just constantly trying to take what you say and figure out what you're not saying. And boy, are they good at it. They make you very cautious when you're talking on voice, because they're sitting there going, "Oh, that means that this is this," and they got Google spreadsheets, and they're charting it out, and they're really trying to uncover everything. And the Polish community is super amazing, very helpful people. We absolutely love the Polish community as well, and so we're very happy to have both of them, and they each bring their own unique kind of mindset into the space.
It's such a just an interesting mix of two communities where it's just like you'll pick two spots on the globe. Poland and Japan. There's the majority of our community. I think that's fucking awesome.
I don't think that you would ever expect to hear those just thrown into this.
It was like,
But here they are, and we're all kind of coming together over the same experience of like we love and appreciate the kind of music that Stephen Vinyl presents, the artwork and the lore, and that, I mean, it's so powerful that it does cross languages, and it's cool to be a part of the project and to kind of experience that on your end. It's kind of a weird magical experience that I never thought that I would be thrown into the mix on.
yeah, let's give shout outs where shout outs are due for a second here. So who's doing the art? Who's writing the lore?
Yeah, so LoserKing wrote the foundation for the lore. Did you want to talk about some of that process and what that was like very early on and moving through?
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about character design. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's more. It has to do a lot of with sociology and understanding the human behavior. It's kind of. I have been a traveler and observer like most of my life, and I've been observing people and in most different situations, and I could pick up the interesting behavior and kind of behavioral patterns from uh, people, from human being. And so when I create a character, I design it some kind of way that there's not good or bad, but there's only a person, entity that has own goal and visions and tries to achieve it. Instead of seeing it as bad or good, it's just trying to achieve its goal, their goals. And some people might see it bad, but some people might see it good. So it's kind of balancing on the um, neutrality, and also I create characters that you can connect to. They are some way relevant to your life. So each character is somewhat very close to you, but also very far from you. It's like a representation of yourself, but like in different state of mind. So you could read the lore from one character and you could say, I would never do this, but in some kind of different situation, you might actually do that. If you were put into that character's shoes, you might actually do the same action. You might actually take the same action, and that's how I create very interesting characters that you can read. And as Waldo said that we will put our world development and lore creation to the hands of our users. What he meant is we want to create a open Wikipedia that will have some kind of governance or approval system, and we will welcome the fan fiction, we will welcome the fan art from each of the community member, because as Waldo also said, the music, the art, that is the international global language that connects everybody, and it doesn't need to be translated, and that's what we want to try to achieve too. So yes, that's what I want to say about the character creation.
No, I love that. So let's break down quickly what's going on with the mint right now. So what are we're minting male and female characters? And these are the playable characters, or what's going on here?
So what's happening right now is also I just want to say that LoserKing, you did a great job on that. Touching on how even the bad guys are kind of relatable in a way. I love that when games do that. And LoserKing didn't mention it, but he created the foundation and the vision and artwork. Basically everything that we're attached to in terms of story has originated from him. So the mint that's open right now is Gen 1 mint. That is what's preceding Genesis, which is the ones that we were talking about earlier. They were originally $400, and now they are $10,000 in terms of Fantom floor price. So that 36X, you must have sold pretty quickly, because that 36X started to happen in like 94 days or something like that. So your paper hands really didn't come through on that one. Don't feel bad though. Now you have your chance to get a Gen 1. Gen 1 is entry to the game. So if you want a seat at the table, this is your chance, because it's not going to be permanent and there's only so many. Gen 1 is kind of going to be a sort of flex, just like the Genesis is, because the later styles, Gen 2, Gen 3, those kind of collections, if and when they come out, they won't be human. This is the only collection that will be human. And then you might have to see like elves and orcs, stuff like that later. So this is your flex. If you're walking around in the game, you can click a player. You can see which NFT they're essentially logged into the game with. And anyone that has a Gen 1 is going to have like basically this early flex. So the Gen 1 mint currently, it was whitelist was 55 Fantom, public was 70 Fantom. But then the Fantom actually went down after our pre-sale, which is kind of funny. So now the public is actually almost as cheap or something like that as what the whitelist was. So I think it's I don't want to be wrong here. Can someone one of the team members is listening? They'll just tell me the correct number and I'll just keep talking. So these Gen 1s, you can't play the game without it. Most people have we've seen a lot of people get one of each, because they want they want a man, they want the woman, they want to collect them all, like the Pokemon aspect, but also they're strategizing in different ways based on things we said in our previous AMAs. So on one side, there's people going, oh, I'm going to have a main account, and then I'm going to have a bunch of alt accounts, because we have said that that we will make the game sort of friendly in this way. So with some limitations. So you can play on each account in an individual wallet, and you have a really powerful setup, but it's kind of clunky. It's inconvenient to move between them each time you want to do something, because you're kind of logging out in the back end. However, you might we might do some sort of setup where you could think of the alts as basically like the main is like a big battery, and then the alts is like you plug into that battery to like kind of juice it up. And this way it's a little easier than switching between all the wallets. However, now you're not as efficient as if you just kind of inconvenience yourself by signing in and out. There's also another aspect there. So maybe one account does kind of like smithing, and another one does mining. So you could get these ores and then you can't do anything with it because you don't have the skills for something like that. And you can bring it over to your alt, and your alt can help you with that. Otherwise, our players are aware that you would have to depend on other players, especially maybe early game, to kind of accomplish certain tasks that you want to do. So, and then next, there might be like a good and evil type play. So that might be something that people want to jump in on.
No, that's cool. Well, we really appreciate that, guys. So what's the website that you guys are mints happening at? TheLostKingdom.io?
Yep, thelostkingdom.io/mint. We also have our link tree. That can be something that can be I'm probably not displayed on the screen, but maybe that can be posted in the comment section or the description later on.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna jump into we got some topics to run through. So we really appreciate you guys having you guys on. This was super awesome. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I've minted a boy and a girl. I've got like I said, I did sell a Gen 0 a little bit early. I still have one left though.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We really appreciate being on the show, and we love your vibe and the Voodoo, True Voodoo. You're not fat. You could be drinking 2% if you wanted to. That fish island's not fooling us. We know that you're much skinnier than you're telling us you are. And
yes, you can keep talking about that. Yeah, we'll do a section on that for the next 5 minutes if you just want to talk more about me and
no, you're great. I love your
in shape body.
You set a great tone for this. We've done a lot of AMAs, and you're really just you're setting the right tone with this relaxing kind of vibe. You make your guests feel comfortable, and we thank you very much for hosting us.
Yeah, it's been awesome having you. And if y'all want to stay on, you are more than welcome to stay on. And if you want to throw out, because what we do in this next section here is we got 5 subjects to talk about. We got about 5 minutes for each. And we may kick it over to you all, or you can interrupt us if you want to highlight any of these other projects on Fantom that apply. So let's talk about what's minting. Let's go to that one first. So tinfoil, we obviously know that Lost Kingdom is minting. On the Potluck side, we just had probably the worst timing ever for the revolutionary apes, because the market just totally crashed over the weekend. While the mint was going on, the market was just tanking. But incredible mint. We still have a lot to go there, but just Codcar and Splarg did such an amazing job with those apes. There was 22 one-of-ones. There's over 600 billion, half a trillion, over 600 billion possible combinations, which is crazy when you do the math on the traits and the layers. So really excited about that one. We still have a few other mints going on as well. We got the Strange Pigs, which, just so you know, if you don't own any Potluck NFTs at all, you're just trying to get in, you go try to mint a Strange Pig, it's not going to go through because it has a whitelist in the contract. So just hit us up in Discord or on Twitter. We'll add your address. You'll be able to mint. We have Old Blood of the Cave still minting, and we have the Avax Dead family, as well as our Creatures of the Cave 2 super serums and regular serums are still available to be minted. That's going to get really crazy as soon as we implement with Triton. We're implementing the burn 5 characters to create your own customized one. And so I expect that mint to really take off at that point. But those are all still available from us. But what's going on in the ecosystem that people need to pay attention to?
All right, so the ecosystem mints, my favorite mints are going on. Alien Chunky Cats. There's less than 150 left. I think they're 3 Fantom. King's doing t-shirts now, so you're going to need chunkies for that. I want to mint that out. We've got you're wearing a tee. Official NFTs got their communities collection, so that's still minting. One of my favorite collections on Fantom, to be honest. I continuously mint one every few days to see if I can get one of each of the partner projects. We got Terraformers. So that's J-Kai and Clockworky, just 2 legends and their collaborative generative project. I think there's less than 100 left before that minter closes and they do a big airdrop. Lil Dino Gang, DeFi the Dino Guy, Dino King. Love him. That's one of my favorite projects. Slothtopia. Obviously, we love the sloth avatars. His wallet distribution is insane. the community that he's building right now is incredible. And then I think it's big to mention you need to have a sloth avatar. You basically need all 4 sloth pieces. It's the pixel, the ones that he airdropped from Solana, the original ones, and a sloth avatar. If you have all 4, you will be whitelisted to be able to mint the condo pass. And that condo is essentially, that's like your gallery. So that's going to be what, like, similar to OnCyber, where you will now be able to get a gallery, put your NFTs in it, and put that anywhere in Slothtopia and play around in it. So I think that's
And
a
I'm
big deal.
stoked about that. I'm definitely excited for a Fantom native project to do that. And just as it's not, there are projects that are building like OnCyber and stuff, but that's all they have. And I think there's a lot that they've left out of what you can do. And I know functionality wise, I mean, he's going to have it where you can like you can list and like buy and sell your NFTs from your gallery or from your condo. And so, and I'm fired up about that. And so I am glad to know that makes sense why some of these, the ones that came back from Solana, they're selling for like 200, 250 Phantom all of a sudden. And that makes sense of why that's the case, because it's the most limited collection. And so, yeah, that's pretty awesome. And people should pay attention to that. Like even on the Potluck projects, when there's a project with way less supply, at some point there's going to be really high demand for that if you believe in the longevity of the project. And so, yeah, ape into like whatever you want, but really pay attention to the small supply projects, just like what's happening with Lost Kingdom with their Gen Zero.
Yeah.
Small supply, high value, but you had to wait a little bit for the value to come. And now the value's here. I mean, you just probably did, I don't know, a 20, 30x on one of yours, and you're holding the others because you anticipate the value to continue to rise. And so I just think that's such a big play and what people should be paying attention to. What else? Any other ones?
No, a couple other ones. World of Yamaloka. So they're actually getting close to finishing up their second mint, which is like kind of the elves. Outlandish Kids. We mentioned earlier on our Twitter Spaces the idea of the MFers derivative project. They're actually doing an Outlandish Kids derivative mint coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Phantom Wave is almost done. I think there's less than 200 Phantom Wave pieces left before that mint is closed.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one because we talked about this in the Spaces, but they were the other project that's also doing Omnichain with Layer 0 for their next mint, their next character, next generation, basically. So really excited with what they're doing, innovating. And I'll tell you, actually, I want to point this out, what's minting. Illuminati Congo. So he sent me this T-shirt. Awesome. He actually said this character on the T-shirt is some type of Caribbean voodoo character. So I guess it fits,
so cool.
fits my name professionally. And then I want everyone to be able to see what I'm wearing because I am a true professional. And so I got my business shorts on. My business shorts. I want to keep it. I want to keep it 100. Thank you. Very professional. And so I just got my physical in the mail. This is art by Chris Dyer, and it is an actual vinyl record that I need to now buy a record player for. And it's Illuminati Congo's new album. So that is still minting, and I forget, it's like on Obtainable IO.
Yeah,
I think
I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link in the chat. Yeah, obtainable.io.
That kind of looks like that Cameron Gray artwork, that psychedelic artwork. Have you seen that before?
I have not seen that one, but yeah, Chris Dyer is a great psychedelic artist. So they partnered together. There was only 55 total, 50 for sale. And yeah, you get the physical included. You get the album, you get everything, but you also get an MP4 NFT file. It's like a video file of this. So absolutely incredible, but that is still minting. It's not on Phantom, but it's on Ethereum, which actually has surprisingly professional gas prices as of late, pretty low. Yeah. So it might be a good time to mint over there. But now while I put this back up and people get to see my shorts again, underrated projects, artists, who do you want to give shout outs to today?
All right, I'm going to bring up some names here. One of my favorite females in the space, Alchemist I just love every single piece that she puts out. And I think she needs to get the attention. It's just so good. One artist, just incredible talent.
Oh,
I
let's
want to
talk
shout out
about
the
that
paint
real quick.
huffing. All right.
Talk about that.
Oh, you
Hold
got
on.
you got an alchemist piece?
Oh yeah. I got physical here. So let's
Oh, let's
still
go.
got to get it framed.
Oh my, yes. See, this
With
is what I mean.
absolutely beautiful work, and with a certificate of authenticity and everything signed.
Wow.
Beautiful work. So yeah, good call there.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I've got one of I got her and Bush Doctor on the way. Real excited. Next one I'm gonna shout out the paint huffing degenerates. So Masochist just had his mint that fucking sold out within I think under 20 minutes. That project minted out. To be honest, I'm still calling it underrated right now because we have the initial phase of the paper handers that are taking their profit. But I think this is a great opportunity to get in on that.
That's one of my favorite projects I've ever seen. One
Yeah,
of the
right?
best. The thing I love when generatives make you say that's not possibly generative.
Yes.
And that's how I felt about this one. Absolutely incredible.
So to keep rolling on that subject, we're gonna go right into Wicked Witches by Wicked FTM. I think that mint 420 pieces. Again, they all look like one of ones, and it was just incredible. And I think, yeah, for the supply of that price and the quality of art, super undervalued right now. Damon Punks is another one. I was taking a look on NFT Key. Talk about thin floors. Everybody likes to call me tinfoil. Well, there's some thin floors for you, ladies and gents. Lucky Luciano, our fucking rocket scientist, with his Damon Punks. So I'm gonna bring this project up, and you're gonna laugh at me for saying this. Avacon. Do you know the
Yeah, I know.
all the
And
the community?
I'm
Dude,
not happy about it.
I just took a
It's
look through
not.
that collection on NFT Key.
Yeah.
I'm falling in love with that collection. The more pieces come out, it's hilarious. I love it, and the floor is so thin, and it gets up real quick in value.
Well, I just would like the voodoo piece to be burned. Okay. I'll love the collection. If somebody would just buy and burn, or whoever owns that voodoo piece. I don't think it's an accurate representation of my beauty. Neither my inner beauty nor my outer beauty. And so I would like it to be burned, please. I want to give a shout out to another artist. He's on here. I have the physical. Here we go. We put it in a little glass frame to go more professional.
I need a storage unit for all these physicals, eh?
I know. So I have, they're not very nicely displayed yet, but these are physicals by Sarge. One of these is this one is his first ever NFT. And he is underrated. I don't care,
Damn right.
He's got a big following on Twitter, but he's very underrated. And he's got the Baby Punk generative collection coming out. It's going to have a ton of one-on-ones where all the pieces have been redone, like all the original Baby Punks have been redone by community, like other artists on Fantom. So a big collaborative effort. It's going to be super incredible. So really excited about that. But really, I'm just bragging. I was just bragging that I have his first piece in the physical. So, but yeah, don't sleep on Sarge.
Now that Dow is no joke. I don't know if there's a better one out there. Like that collection that Dow has is crazy.
Look at this. Look at this physical.
Yeah, that's crazy. That quality.
Bunch physical.
Talk about underrated projects. Regen from Fantom Bunch, like unbelievable quality.
What's their new? What's it called again? It's got a weird name. Them and the Doodle Punk. They joined up to create
Crown Labs.
Crown Labs. Yes, they have so much stuff coming out. I mean, basically, they kind of looked at what we have done, and honestly, man, what they're doing, partnering up, creating value. Because when these projects partner up and create an ecosystem of value, it benefits all the holders of their old projects, and then it gives the future projects so much more value. And they're so good on the dev side and the art side that I'm like, whatever they're building, it's underrated. I'll tell you that much. You should buy the old, buy the pieces now. They're kind of their Genesis projects. because it's only going to go up in value. So,
No, spot on.
all right, now we got to talk making money in NFTs. We already talked one method about making money in NFTs, and that is, and obviously this is not financial advice, because the second we tell you, hey, do this to make money, you'll probably lose money doing this. And so, don't take our advice, because we're not in the NFT world. I'll just say it first and foremost. I don't buy NFTs for the main purpose of making a profit. I honestly got into NFTs hoping to like make a profit, and then very quickly I just fell in love with the community and supporting artists, and I do believe that all the great artists and great projects on Fantom will be worth a lot one day when the masses come to Fantom. Like, I truly believe that we just, right now you're selling to about 1,000 on average. Maybe there's 2,000 possible people that ever look at Paint Swap. All right. Well, one day I believe that's going to be 200,000 people. All right. So whatever you're buying and selling right now, it's really short term. You hold something for a month, you think you held it long term. I mean, that's still so short term. So I'll just preface it with saying that, Tinfoil and I both are collectors first and foremost. We're not in this, as professional flippers, but we do know when to make money, or in some ways that kind of will help you. And the one thing I want to point out that I've done is, when a project is about to sell out the mint, that's when the value, you can almost guaranteed buy it and flip it for a profit. If a project sells out quickly, or even if it doesn't sell out quickly, if it's like Scully's and takes a while to sell out, but once that sellout is about to happen, there's 100 left, you can confidently buy in that last 100, knowing that you can flip this for a profit. And almost actually, you'll make more of a profit on projects that take a little while to mint out, but then get that momentum. And the reason is because if it picks up momentum, now all these people are starting to see it online, and then the FOMO kicks in. And once it sells out, the only way they can buy is on secondary market. So as long as you go and you post it for a profit, you're going to make money. Every project, before I was like big into NFTs, every project I aped into that I aped in right before it minted out, I made a big profit on. I always made double, triple my money plus, like in a day or two. And I thought that's awesome, because in DeFi, if you're looking for the crappy coins that you can flip in a day for a 2-3x profit, like those don't come around that often. And when they do, half the time you lose everything. So at least with NFTs, even if it doesn't pan out the way you want, you typically don't lose everything. And then you also are left with an awesome, NFT. So I would tell you, if you're flipping, that's my number one strategy. But then it's also just look at the blue chip collections, buy smaller collection sizes from artists that also have big collections. Try to get their one-on-ones when they're on cheap. At Tombheads auctions, go to Tombheads when Fantom is down. If you can go when Fantom's down, like this last weekend, man, people are buying crazy awesome pieces for dirt cheap prices. And then you just wait till the market's back up again. You flip for 4 or 5x easy. So Tinfoil, man, you just disappeared. Hopefully we didn't lose you.
He screen froze a second ago.
Okay.
I think he's trying to reconnect.
Well, yeah, there we go. We were back 10. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, it froze up there. What happened?
So what's, obviously you had a strategy here, which we've talked about. You bought early, you believed in a project early, and you had the conviction to hold until they developed what would give the value. But what other strategies do you use in making money in NFTs?
Well, a lot of the so again, I suck at this because I'm a collector. Like, I have over 4,000 NFTs. I don't do very good at selling them. But we'll do something right where, keep buying new ones and then sell them. Like, there's the idea of buying 3 or minting 3. So the mint 3 rule is essentially, you've got 1 to hold like super long term. You've got 1 to flip right away, and then you've got 1 to kind of watch in the midterms, in a couple weeks, sort of thing. Because usually that is how the market goes. You're dead on sellout of a project. Like, while the hype is there and while everybody's talking about it on Twitter and everybody's looking at the marketplaces to find out who minted what and what's getting listed, like, that's when you have hype. That's when you have volume. So that is the opportunity to make like a quick flip. And those are typically your smaller profits. then things quiet down again, and that's where it gets interesting. Like, do the floors go down like under mint price? A project like a Bit Shadows, like it hasn't done that. It's continued to just slowly hold itself for a couple days, climb up to Fantom, hold itself, climb up another couple Fantom. A lot of projects end up kind of bouncing to mint price, even below mint price. But again, you're almost just waiting for that next little news cycle, because all it is like an announcement, and it's just about the attention that drives the volume. But again, I think in general, like a lot of these early projects that are here to stay, are building on Fantom, are doing community events, really trying to make a name in Fantom. Like you said, when we have 200,000 buyers on Fantom, I don't care like who it is. Like, you're gonna want to have those NFTs.
Yeah.
Talking about
So
Sarge, like any of these Fantom punks. Think of Fantom punks in 10 years from now, when Fantom's got 1 billion users on it. Like, that gets crazy.
okay, when you throw around words like 1 billion users, okay, that gets me a little unprofessionally excited here. Like I am, I'm about to take my jacket off. I'm getting hot at that thought. So, last thing I want to point out is floor prices. People freak out when they see the floors are down. So what I would challenge you to do is to look. This is some tinfoil that you've done that has supported countless projects. Yeah, and maybe you owned pieces from their project, so it benefits you to talk about it. But it's not projects that they're not paying you to do this or whatever. But let's say that I'm looking at Bit Shadows right now. The floor is 60 Fantom. So you look at 60, well, it is 3 purchases away from 75 Fantom.
Mm-hmm.
It is 7 purchases away, 7 NFTs away from 80 Fantom. Okay, and then you're like 12 away from 85 Fantom. But okay, so from 60 to 80 Fantom, that's a 25% increase. A 25% increase, and there's only 7 that have to sell.
Yeah.
So you don't freak out and say, "Oh, the floor is 60." There's only 2 listed below 70. Okay, so I was looking at this with a lot of our projects, where they're in between generations. People are impatient, trying to sell for liquidity when the market's down, and then somebody will be like, "Man, I saw that, this one sold for 7 Fantom." Well, so the floor is 7. This is horrible, whatever. And then I go on there and look. I made a few posts last week. I'm like, it's 7, but you're only 8 away from a 25 floor. Also, like Old Blood of the Cave. Old Blood of the Cave, they're like, oh, the floor is 20 Fantom the other day. And I was like, yeah, the floor is 20, but there's only 14 listed, and you're only 8 away. It was 6 away from an 80 floor. So 6 away. So if the community says, okay, let's get these people out of here that are listing super low. Let's have a few people. Let's go in. Let's buy up these 6, get the floor to 80 Fantom. And now we've got a project where the floor is 4x or 3x what the mint price was, and it's still minting. Like, that's incredibly healthy. That's what you want to see. So that's one of the big ways to make money in NFTs, is to look at projects where it's only a few. So I did this with Fantom Bunch. You did it. We did it. That's actually, you got me in. This is before we worked together. Or maybe we had just started, but you were talking about, man, the floor on Fantom Bunch is crazy. Like, there's some at 75, 100, whatever, but you're only a few away from like 200 for 100, and then 150, then 200, then 400. And in one night, not me and you, like we bought them all, but just from tweeting about it and the community rallying, the floor went from 75 Fantom to 450 Fantom in one night. Mm-hmm. So you want to make money in NFTs, you buy. So I realized, I saw you post that. I bought one at 100. I bought one at 125. I bought one at 175. And then within 2 hours, the floor was 450. That's how you make a profit in NFTs. So hopefully that helps you guys. That's the strategy. Yeah.
And it's a great topic. Like, bring value to those projects. Like, notice that stuff and then talk about it. Like we said, you and I both are grabbing these things and tweeting about it. If you're bringing the attention to this, I noticed, like, people, that was a big thing for me with Umans, is I would just literally a tweet where it would break down the levels of, like, all right, we got this many to this set, this many to this floor, this many to this floor. Those tweets, like, have a lot of standing, because it really, it just gives people the perspective on what the whole secondary market is on the project. So yeah, I think that's the way to make money in NFTs. bring value, like do some work for the projects that you're trying to make money off of. Bring value to them by telling the community about them.
Heck yeah, that's good. So cross chain auction. Let's talk about that. Just time wise, we'll kind of fly through this. It's tomorrow. I just talking with another artist right now. It's from Ethereum. Absolutely incredible. He's actually on Ethereum and Tezos, and I found out about him because one of our other artists, Necro, had been at a live NFT event in Indonesia, which I thought was super cool. And he had posted some pictures from that event. And then because of that, I started following some of the other artists. And then one of our other artists who's in the auction was at the event as well. And I don't think they know each other. And then he tagged another artist who he met there at the event. And so this guy just got done doing a live auction or live, not auction, but just in person, like gathering with other NFT artists, kind of like what we did down in Austin. And incredible artist, incredible art. And so now he's the 20th artist. So now we officially have 20. We had 18, and then we added Chas Guy. And this guy, I'm going to butcher his name, but it's like Rato Tangella. And I'm positive I'm mispronouncing that. But yeah, just super excited, bringing together so many different communities. You're going to be able to bid in whatever currency that you want, ETH, Tezos, Fantom, or AVAX. Our bot in our Discord will translate that. So let's say that this artist has his piece on Ethereum and he's used to accepting Ethereum. So somebody bids in Ethereum, like that's what we want to pay attention to. So they bid, 0.1 Ethereum. Well, it's going to tell you that's this much XTZ, this much AVAX, this much Fantom, and then you can go bid and whatever. You can be like, man, I'm not even going to talk. I'm a Fantom maxi. I'm not even going to talk about that. Okay, so I'm going to bid 200 Fantom, and then it's going to translate that for the next person. So you can always just bid in whichever one you want, and everybody's going to be on the exact same page. And then you can pay in whatever currency you want. So you win the bid. Let's say you're on Ethereum, you don't have Fantom, you don't have AVAX, you don't have Tezos, and you buy a Tezos piece. Okay, well, you can just pay in Ethereum, and we will take care of paying the artist in their preferred currency. So you can pay in your preferred, the artist will get paid in theirs. 85% of the proceeds, which is, it's pretty good amount for these type of auctions. 85% will go to the artist. 5% is going to Deliver Fund. So excited. I'm going to be posting some more things about Deliver Fund, but it is a nonprofit that works basically worldwide, but they are headquartered in the U.S. at taking out human traffickers. So they're going for the head of the snake. They're not just trying to rescue the girls out of the situation. They're trying to shut down the entire operation so that once one girl's rescued, somebody else doesn't get taken or boy taken into sex trafficking. And so pretty incredible. They're made up of like ex-CIA, FBI, Navy SEALs, NSA in the U.S., and then special forces all over the world. And tomorrow, we'll be giving 5% of those proceeds. Out of the 15%, 1/3 of that is going to charity to support that. So every purchase, every piece of art that's made, you're going to help end human trafficking, which I think is awesome. But then also we're officially partnering with them. So a percentage, most mints, it'll be 5%, but a percentage of all Potluck Protocol mints from now on will go to that cause because we want to do something good. We want to have good art and support artists and support collectors in making money and having great experiences. But we also want to do something more meaningful in the world. And so I think that will help. But tomorrow on the auction, we're going to have Jeremy Mayhew, who's the vice president, like in charge of operations for them. He'll be on the Discord talking about it. He's a former Navy SEAL, certified badass, and so he'll be on talking about Deliver Funds. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited for this experience. Tinfoil, I mean, we've been planning this and dreaming about this for months. We finally are here ready to execute our first one. Man, what are you thinking heading into this?
Well, these are like legitimate, like real heroes in this world. And like just to be able to try to give them some backing, like we talk about this NFT industry, the idea that we can pool resources and then as a collective, like put these resources to use. I don't know if there's a better way to do it.
Heck yeah. It's going to be awesome. So it's 7 p.m. It's on Wednesday. The reason we did Wednesday is we're not trying to compete with other auction houses. We're not trying to compete with FAC or Tombheads and what they're doing for the Fantom community. What we're trying to do is create a different experience that brings different communities together and really gives artists outside of Fantom the experience of what an auction house can do. And with hopes of maybe bringing some of these to those networks so that a lot of artists can have the life-changing experiences that artists here have when they're exposed to like a Tomb Heads or an FAC versus just putting your art up for sale on a website mixed with thousands and thousands of other artists and their artwork. And so just super excited. Gonna be incredible. So also let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, 7 p.m. Be there. We're not going to try to take all day. You know, we'll move through the auction pretty quickly, but you know, the success of an auction is all about collectors showing up, and hopefully you can find some good scoops, but also be exposed to some awesome new talent as well. So,
I think it's important to. I just want to mention. I think it's important to get cross-chain like NFT exposure. I think there's an aspect to just that.
Yeah, I think especially now knowing the layer 0 stuff where you're able to make pretty much any NFTs omni-chain and bridge them between different chains, I think it's now more important than ever to expose yourself to what's going on different chains. As a collector, as someone who wants to make money in NFTs, as someone who wants to just support artists, no matter what your perspective in NFTs is, it's now more than ever more important to be engaged with what's happening on other chains. So we're excited to be in the middle of that and to help facilitate it. I don't have a lot to say. We already mentioned what's minting with our projects. So I just want to point out what we have coming up. So next Wednesday, in 8 days, we have Acid Cats, the Fantom side. So that's half the collections on Fantom, half will be on AVAX, and it will be omni-chain as well. That was kind of the big secret, but you know, we'll let it out right here that it's going to be omni-chain, which means you'll be able to port to Ethereum, to Matic, you know, a bunch of different chains. And so we haven't identified all the ones we want to be able to, but immediately after minting, you'll be able to port that and move your NFTs around. So you can take it from Fantom, move it to Ethereum, and then you can have, if you have Twitter Blue, you can have your Acid Cat showing up in a little hexagon box if you want, which are going to be pretty sweet. And so really excited about that. I mean, collection is going to be incredible. Teens is amazing. It's going to be in the Teens on Acid Discord instead of the Potluck one because he's done the work to build a brand. And so, you know, we'll be there throwing the party and everything. Everything will be the same as normal. The pre-sale, though, is only going to be an hour before. And so I think it's going to sell out in pre-sale in about 20 seconds because here's how it works. If you own an Astro Kid, you get one mint in the pre-sale, like one ability to mint one per Astro Kid you own, plus per Platinum Pass or Ultimate Pass that you own. You'll be able to. Some of these people have 30, 40 of these, which means they're going to be able to mint 30 or 40 if they have time. You know, you can only do 10 in one transaction, but you can try. There'll be over 4,000 possible mints during the pre-sale that will be available. There's only 1,667 available. So then if I would tell you, hey, the snapshot, I believe, is going to be Monday. We talked about it. I think it's going to be Monday for that. So you have till Monday to pick those up. But then on AVAX, there's not going to be a whitelist because we're going to be doing it through Trader Joe on their platform in front of thousands of people that are in DeFi are going to be seeing this art and have a chance to mint on there. And so we expect that to bring a huge influx of AVAX users into the Potluck Labs ecosystem. And so I wouldn't be waiting around for AVAX thinking, okay, that might be an easier mint for me to get one. It'll be like the Magic Cats were, but there were over 5,000 of them and they sold out like that on Spooky Swap. I think this is going to sell out in milliseconds on AVAX. So yeah, that's what's happening there. The next thing is on the 29th, Friday the 29th. We don't have a name for it yet, but it's Black Cat Dead's generative debut. Incredible art, incredible colors. And so that we'll have more details on that coming up obviously soon. In May, we're looking at just a loaded roster of things. I mean, we have the Potluck Realm Elves, we have Danetrons, Hunters of Evil, we have the Necro Demons from Necro Fox. I'll call them Necro Fox. You know, we've got those. I believe we'll have Bonono's collection coming out as well. What am I missing in that? Bot Boy, the Bot Squad Chickens, incredible collection. He's done so much work. The storyline is amazing. there's going to be more. The Creature of the Cave, build your own character. Burn to build. That's going to be happening. If not before the end of April, in May for sure. Anything I'm missing there, Tinfoil, that we need to point out real quick?
No, I think maybe another Rat Pack iteration. Zombie Stillskin doing anything?
Yeah. So he sent me a preview the other day. The next version of the Rat Pack are the Barn Cats, the Barnyard Cats, I believe. And so he's still working on that, tweaking it, but he showed it to me. Looks awesome. I love his style. Love his, he's just so creative, so good with the 3D art. So working on that. We don't have a date defined for that, but that could definitely be in May as well. I mean, we have next gens for a lot of these that could be in May.
Yeah.
I see Dead Family 2, which will be much more PFP styled, coming in May. We also have under wraps. I still don't want to release it fully, but we have a Creature of the Cave 3 that will likely be coming out before the end of May or maybe the beginning of June, which will be super exciting and pretty exclusive collection. So from an incredible artist. So not gonna give any more alpha. Sorry, it's NFT alpha, but I can only share so much. So yeah. Any LoserKing, Waldo, anything, if you guys anything you all want to add, anything we missed, anything you want to give a shout out to?
We didn't really talk about our game, so if you want to join our Discord, there's lots of opportunities to listen to us talk about the game in more detail, like what it actually looks like, what it's like to be in the game and to interact with it. That would be discord.gg/The Lost Kingdom. And we'll give you guys our link tree to post in the video description, but in there is also a Dropbox. It has all of our artwork, music, Genesis NFTs, all that kind of stuff is in there, so you can really like see what's been available so far in one place, and all of the links are just they're right there in one place. So that's usually something that we hand out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We thank you for having us on the show. It was great sitting here listening, and I really enjoyed getting to see your process from behind the scenes and how efficient you guys are. It was you really went like zip through like a ton of information in a really great way.
I appreciate it, Waldo. LoserKing, yeah, thanks so much, guys, for coming in here. Love what you guys are building. Remember, again, talking to LoserKing long ago in the rabbit hole, back when the Genesis Zeros were first minting. Yeah, I'm excited for what you guys got coming. And again, the play and earn, the idea that is what your guys' focus is, I think is super telling.
Yeah, and I'm looking at our general chat. I was kind of watching our chat while we were doing this, and you got a couple of subscribers from our community, so that's kind of neat.
Right on. Appreciate it greatly.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you all so much for being on. Incredible. Super excited for the future of your project, and for Tinfoil, myself. We're out. We'll see you next week on another episode of NFT Alpha by Potluck Labs. Please like, subscribe, share this. We're doing this to help bring attention, not just to our projects, but everything good happening in the NFT ecosystem. We love you all. Thanks for all of you who are on live commenting. It means a lot. We'll see you next time.
Bye.